Hello, I'm ToycatA, and welcome back to QnA Saturday. This is the weekly series where I answer your questions that have been asked over the past week or so, and let's be honest, nobody is confused by the idea of a Q&A. I mean, it's a way for YouTubers to answer questions from their fans, officially, although in reality, because the YouTuber picks the questions, and it's usually a very small subset, it's just a way for someone to talk about things they already wanted to talk about, except without, like having to feel awkward because they're doing it without prompt. So instead, it's answering questions, and that's why I get to talk about my new book, or about my new, Minecraft map coming out soon. But no, instead we're gonna be doing a Q&A, and we're gonna skip the middleman and just go straight to the step where we steal other YouTubers' questions, and we're gonna pretend that they're from my own fans. Because let's be honest, this question right here doesn't matter if it comes from another YouTuber or if it comes from Ocelot Destroyer 69, my favorite subscriber. By the way, my assistant found all of these, and I'm very confused because the first question is, would you consider doing another closet tour? And you know what? I guess I am trapped in a closet. I have learned today. You know, the thing about being in a closet and making all of your videos in one, which for the record, I actually am making this video inside of a closet. I literally am trapped in a closet. Today I'm realizing. So yeah, the thing about another closet tour is most people, this is like a very American thing, right? To have an insanely sized closet. I have like the tiniest closet in the world because the more space you give yourself for clothes, the more clothes you'll end up with. And honestly, do you need more than like a week's worth of clothes at a single point in time? Not really. People are like, oh, but I need winter fashion and summer fashion. It's like, no. You're just trying to justify having double as many clothes. What you need is like a t-shirt, you need like a pair of jeans, and like 7 pairs of underwear, and then you're good for life. Also probably like 7 t-shirts. But yeah, I have very little closet space, and that's why my closet tour will look like this, and then we're done. And anyway, with that said, let's move into the second question, which comes in from, again, another big fan of the channel, definitely wasn't stolen from another YouTuber. What was the worst thing you ever got in trouble for when you were little? So off the top of my head, the thing that always comes to mind actually of this, maybe it's not really getting in trouble, but there was like an Easter egg hunt at a local church. I used to have to go to a church when I was younger. You know how it is having a religious relative, right? So I used to have to go to church when I was younger, and I went one for Easter, and they did this really cool Easter egg hunt, and they had a certain number of Easter eggs out there, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll hide one for each child, and you can go out and find them. And I don't know why it was, but like I found mine, and then my brother, just not even for any real reason, he didn't gain from this. He was like, oh no, Andrew already found an Easter egg, so like he should have to put his back. And then the person running the class was like, oh, that's really greedy, Andrew. You are gonna have to put that back. And then they made me like not have the thing, even though it was my only one. So I just thought that was like the most insane, like but he's just saying it. And I was obviously when I say no, I didn't do that, the word of someone who just randomly accuses is a little bit more trustworthy, and that's happened a couple of times in my life actually. Like I once, a guy just like accused me of filming like some injured girl or something like that, and I got in like a little bit of trouble until I had to be like, no, I didn't. I have all the proof in the world that I didn't. And it's a hard thing when someone just randomly accuses you. It's so hard to get that off your chest because how can you, right? Like, why would someone just randomly accuse you? People don't do that, and most people don't. It doesn't make any sense for the majority of people to. But it's one of those things that really set in mind my fear of just like this can happen at any point in time, and it doesn't in movies because movies have to follow logical plots. But in the real world, there are just some people. I asked the guy, why did you accuse me? And he's like, I just like to. I think the phrase was stir shit. And it was like, wait, what does that even mean? Why does accusing people just get you off? And apparently that's just his favorite thing. Anyway, with that said, let's move into the third question here, which is from, again, big fan, long-time fan of the channel. Do you think Guardian Temples need a revamping? And would it be a revamp, not a revamping? Like, isn't it weird that you can say they need both a revamp and they need revamping? It's like, my house needs to be rebuilt, but also it needs rebuilding to be rebuilt. Anyway, with that said, the Guardian Temples, in my opinion, they're actually kind of cool the way they are. I like that the water update, the 1.13 one, actually made them a little bit harder by making it so, obviously, in 1.13, it's a little bit harder to go in there because you can't just cheese and make some water using a door or whatever, at least on Bedrock. I know waterlogging works different on each platform, but if you want to make air, you have to do some weird stuff, and it's I like that they made it a bit harder, but I'd like to see an actual different Guardian Temple, because right now it's always disjointed. Like, I never have that much fun going into one of these, and I feel like more rooms, because the sponge rooms add a really nice element of like, yes, this rare resource I want, it's in here, I can find this. I'd like to see more of those and more little secrets. And I feel like both the Woodland Mansion and the Guardian Temple should always be updating in that way. Like, every couple of updates, they should add a new room to the Guardian Temple, a new room to the Woodland Mansion, and the fact that they don't, I think, is a missed opportunity. With that said, let's move into the next question, which comes in from, again, this good friend of mine on the channel that I'm definitely answering not just because it's a question, but because, oh, they really asked me, what is your favorite US state? Oh, this one actually is asked all the time on the channel. What is my favorite American state? And it's a hard one to answer because I think in terms of like, as a British person, I don't live in America, so the best ones to visit would probably be like, I mean, everyone loves Hawaii for visiting, right? California is fun to visit, but it's not a fun one to live in. If I was picking one to live in, it would probably be, I'm in Nevada. I'm flying to Nevada in literally 3 days because I think it like has a great balance of the, like the living near big areas, but also having relative freedom and stuff. I really like, there's a lot of things you can like about American states, and I feel like if you're going to pick one, as long as you don't pick like, oh, I love North Dakota the most. No one says that. Not a single person's ever been like, yeah, West Virginia, this is my favorite state. But yeah, one of the big ones, probably, I like Nevada, because obviously it's like kind of centrally-ish located while still being a major gateway by itself, and I like that a lot. Anyway, that's enough of my explanation. I like having access to a big city. I like having access to a lot of people. I also like having, again, I don't have to describe it, like relative freedom from the world, relatively, again, if I was going to live somewhere, would like to ideally not be taxed all the way, and I think having a combination of those things with a major airport, also having some natural beauty, because you know what, why live in a country that's the size of the continent if you don't get some natural beauty? If you can combine those things, you find a great place. If that describes your state, then I like your state. But my favorite, it's too hard to say. Maybe we'll just say Washington and throw the dice down. I've never been there, so I can say it's the best, because in my mind, it's so much better than it is in reality, and that's how your mind works. With that said, let's speak about the next question. When will you do a face reveal? This is a real hard one. I know. I've been considering it for a while. Like, should I have my face out there? And I've just decided, no, I'm never gonna ruin my face. I want to be one of those faceless YouTubers. Picture me as the ocelot. We've been doing that in a lot of videos actually recently. Like, we've been showing off the ocelot as being my talking point, and I actually way prefer that. Like, me talking to a camera, I think it makes some sense for like a live stream. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since we live streamed, so I can pretend I've never live streamed. Yeah, that makes sense for a live stream, but doing it in videos always makes me feel a bit weird, even if it makes me like more personable or whatever people like about facecam. So yeah, I like having the ocelot be the facecam, and officially my face reveal is this ocelot right here. Try and tell me it's not. Anyway, with that said, let's go into the next question. What video game did you grow up with? I don't like this question. You know, you suck. See, I can now criticize the question without criticizing my audience. This is the benefit of stealing questions. This is such a dumb question, because who grows up with one video game? That's like, which parent did you grow up with? And it's like, well, statistically, like 66% of people grow up with both their parents. So, but yeah, so I'd say the single game that I have the most love for is probably Super Mario 64. I don't think that's the game I have the most playtime in. Like, I played that game over lots of different phases of my life. I played it, when I was like 5. I played it when I was in middle school. I replayed it a couple of times in the last few years. It's a really good game that's gone throughout my life. But I wouldn't say I grew up with it, because it was just lots of different times. I played like hundreds of hours of Digimon World 2003. It's the coolest trading card game. I love card games inside major games. That's why I love Gwent from The Witcher. But there's lots of games I like, but to grow up with one of them, dumb question. You know what? Really dumb question. That's why I can criticize it. That's the beauty of doing Q&As with pretend questions, isn't it? So the next question here is, do you think you'll ever run out of video ideas? And good question. Will I ever run out of video ideas? I think the reality is that, again, I hate the questions it's phrased, because it's always like, oh yeah, I run out of video ideas. No, there's always video ideas. They just suck. I have hundreds of pages of video ideas. I've made a video talking about some of them. Some of these, actually, let me go through some of them right now. I'm gonna read out a few of my ideas, because I never run out. They'll just get worse. Like, if I scroll down to the bottom of my list, ones I haven't done, I came up with years ago, and I haven't done, is like, best bridges of all time. One of my videos is just called Snowball. Random, why does it feel bad? Jeb has a master plan for Minecraft. How many copies Minecraft has sold, visualized? 123 million. Wow, that was like, it's crazy they've sold 100 million copies since that one. I've got like, how to use commands, 10 tips for new players, history of Minecraft console part 4, because obviously, that was a series I used to do, and things went a bit wild there. Obviously, Minecraft console doesn't really have a history anymore. But my point is, biggest accidental features. I've got 1 trillion ideas. The question is not, oh, am I going to run out of ideas? It's whether you're going to find the ideas I make interesting, and what the quality of those ideas is in the objective sense. But there is no objective quality of ideas. A lot of people, this is one of the struggles of YouTube, I'd say, to some extent, is like, you don't know what objective quality is. You can pour your heart and soul into a video. This is something YouTubers complain about all the time, and it's like, yeah, you can pour your heart and soul into YouTube, and then YouTube decides it's not a great video, because YouTube isn't about the time you put in, it's about what people receive from it, and knowing what people are going to receive from any piece of thing is really hard. When you say, oh, you ran out of ideas because I hate this idea, what you're really saying is, this idea does not resonate with me, and again, I know that, like, sure, as a user, it's easy just for a criticism, like, yep, ran out of ideas, lol. But when you're actually trying to think as like make the better stuff, make the things that people want to see. That's what honestly like has to drive me sometimes on YouTube, right? Like one of the things that I'm always thinking about is like, what idea do I want to do that people are excited for? What are people, interested to see on the channel? And you get a lot of different feedback from people about what they'd like to see, but it's not what they'd actually like to watch. There's this moving target of what is a good idea and what is a bad idea on YouTube, and you have no idea what it is and isn't. So will I ever run out of ideas? According to you, person who says you ran out of ideas, 100%. I mean, I wish that wasn't true, but it seems like it is. Will I ever run out of ideas in terms of objectively? I mean, that's no, because, the moment you stop coming up with ideas is the moment you die. As humans, what we do is we have ideas that we try to share with each other. Sometimes those ideas suck. I think admitting that we have bad ideas and that doesn't make us bad people is an important thing to do, but we all have ideas we're communicating all the time about, like, hey, I've got this new brand of water, it's really tasty. Oh, I really like Sprite Zero. I've been getting into exercising recently. Even my idea about, like, oh yeah, I like having a major international airport so I can fly around, or like, I like big cities because that's where all the food's at. These are just ideas. Some people have the opposite ideas. They're like, yeah, I don't like living near loud areas, and honestly, I don't eat any foreign foods, so as long as I have a pub or what's the American equivalent, like, as long as I have a McDonald's or a something, like what, an Applebee's near me, I don't need to have any other things to be happy. People have opposite competing ideas. We're just sharing them all the time, and ideas are generally, there are better ideas and worse ideas, but there is never the absence of ideas, because the moment you stop having ideas, in the sense that you have new thoughts, or even just existing thoughts but in new ways, is the moment you kind of die as a human being. That is the whole purpose of our communication on some extent. And with that said, that was that was too deep an answer. I think the answer should have just been no. But I hate the question so much that it inspired me. Speaking of things I hate that have inspired me, do you play games anymore? It seems like you're not really a gaming guy anymore. I wonder who this question was directed at, by the way. But I'll take it as directed at me, because here's the deal, right? I do play a lot of Minecraft. Part of that is because of it's my job, air quotes, to play some Minecraft. Like for videos, I play it, but I also play a lot of Minecraft in my off time. Like I've said it before, I love Minecraft and podcasts. It's a fun thing to do. I'd say in like an average week, I usually do like 5 or 6 hours of it, like in like a spread of like 2 or 3 days. I go through like hours and hours and hours of podcasts, on top of the fact that like I effectively do the opposite of that. Like I podcast at people in Minecraft in the form of live streams most weeks. So I play a lot of Minecraft, but the interesting thing about games is games have gone from a thing that you can play, as in like, I am a gamer. I play the latest game, and then I move on to the next latest game, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one, etc. That used to be like a thing, air quotes, that people could do. But the reality is games in the last 10-ish years have moved away from you complete this game and it's done, you pay money out front for it, to there are games that want your life from you. If you are not playing League of Legends or Dota every single day for multiple hours a day, you are not going to be good at those games. Those games will give you tens of thousands of hours worth of enjoyment. It's the same with Minecraft. It's the same, with the modern FPS, the modern warfare, battle royale, or even just the multiplayer, right? Like, these are games that are not really, they're designed to be easy enough to pick up, but they're also designed to allow you to play for thousands of hours at a time. So Overwatch as well. Like, most people, what they do is they find one of these games, you play an Overwatch, you play a Fortnite, you play a Minecraft or a Call of Duty or FIFA 21 or whatever it's called these days. You play one of these games and then you pick up little other side games. Or some people just never do. They play their one game and that's all that they do. So I'd say that's where I kind of am. Like, Minecraft is my big one game. People always say, like, you need to get into Overwatch, it's so fun. And it's like, I don't have 100 hours spare in the course of even a week or a month or even over a year. I don't have 100 hours to just invest into a game that I have to then keep investing time into. There are so many games that want there's a really cool game out called Escape from Tarkov. It sounds so fun, but it's like, yeah, you need to invest like several dozen hours before you're really having fun. And it's like, no, that's not what I want. If I wanted the game where I invest 7 hours, that's where Minecraft is for. When I want other games, it's for like 2-3 hours at a time. I want to have a game that's like 4 hours start to finish, but it's great, rather than a game that's 4,000 hours and most of those hours aren't so great, but some of them really are. It's a very interesting kind of change. It's kind of like on YouTube, right? This video has gone longer because of my passion about how games work, but the length of this video, if we go on for an hour, some people will enjoy that, but some people would rather just have a 20-minute video that's like in, out, explains what we're doing, then kind of leaves. And as a result of that, it's like, yeah, I think you have to balance time to time density. And the games, again, Minecraft, even though it's great, there are some times where you're just like, oh man, I've been mining cobblestone for 4 hours now, and just looking for enough stone to build this giant Death Star, and it's like, sometimes you can question like, oh, why have I spent 4 hours doing a not fun thing in a video game? And there are games that need to be made which are just all the way, start to finish, kind of fun, or at least enjoyable, or hit something for you. They're a consistent experience. And because, everyone already... the reason I don't play the yearly model, the yearly Call of Duty release anymore, I might get the new one, is because, like, oh, I don't have the dozens of hours for that. And it's a tragedy, I really do think, because it makes you realize that maybe that's just a thing about being an adult, but, like, time running out is a really scary concept that you're kind of presented with just when you want to play some games. And that's why... I guess I'm trying to say right here is I play games, but you can't play all of the big games. Anyone who claims to is ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, I play a lot of Fortnite, a lot of Minecraft, a lot of FIFA 21, as well as I play Call of Duty. It's like, that is 3 full-time jobs. that means you cannot do things on the side. And given that, like, I do like to run a second YouTube channel, I do have even a third YouTube channel, and then I have the side business on the book side, and there's all these little other things that I'm trying to do, as well as live a normal life, as well as play these games. It kind of wears on you, and maybe as I admit that, everyone's going to say, well, you know what, ToycatA, you're not a real gamer anymore, unsubscribe. Because I used to take so much pride from gamer, I used to, this is the dumbest thing, I used to think, like, I could never date someone who didn't play games, like, I could never connect with someone who didn't get that, because it was one of the things I enjoyed the most in my life, so it's kind of hard to see that label go away, but I think it comes down to the ideas thing again. I think it comes down to, you are not the labels you attach to yourself. If you find a label hard to detach, then that probably means it probably should have detached a while ago. You should be a person independent of your ideas and your labels and stuff like that. Those are things that other people define you as. You shouldn't get caught up in defining them yourself. And that's where I'm kind of going with this one. Or maybe I'm not. Let's move into the next question, though, because where do you see yourself and YouTube in 10 years? And thank you for asking. Very thoughtful question. Very, very proud of this one. Where do I see myself and YouTube in 10 years? I guess I see myself and YouTube in 10 years. No, I guess what I say is I think YouTube is the most unpredictable beast that we have ever seen. Like, unlike unlike any other media before it. Like, imagine being like, oh yeah, I'm going to be in TV for 30 years. That'd be kind of ludicrous. And imagine how much more ludicrous it is to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to work on YouTube for 30 years until I retire. I almost certainly won't be on YouTube in 40 years. Until in 42 years or whatever, I'm not going to be on YouTube. I would like to be. I just think the reality is that YouTube trends come and go so fast. How many YouTubers have been around for the last 10 years? A number of them, but the biggest YouTubers right now are people who started recently. If we take the Minecraft community, Dream is an example of a guy who is like, yeah, I'm gonna just start a YouTube channel. Literally a few years ago, and then he's like, yep, now he's the biggest guy, way bigger than even this thing we built over the last 11, 12, 13 years. And it's like, yeah, this happens every year. The biggest guys are not the people who've been doing it the longest, but it's the people who get in there the newest, because to be successful on YouTube, you need to have new, fresh ideas. People need to, the longer I've been around for 10 years, all the people who were there the first 10 years are not here anymore, because people slowly drop off. They're like, yeah, why am I here? What am I doing here on YouTube? Why am I looking at this guy when this new person has something so fresh and exciting? Kind of going back to that idea front, there are so many hundreds of thousands of, almost millions of people who want to do exactly this, and at some point, one of them will take your place as a YouTuber, and the only question is, what do you do from there? How long can I last right here? It's a struggle I have every month. It's like, oh man, is this the month where everything goes down? Like September, for most Minecraft YouTubers, because most Minecraft YouTubers have fairly young audiences, is a month where like the views get decimated. Actually, decimated isn't as bad a word. They get cut in half. They get cut in 2/3, and then they usually don't recover. Like, it's like every year you see a bunch of people having to quit this, no longer being able to do this as a part-time job, or even worse, a full-time job, having to leave the world of YouTube. And obviously, I'm slightly more insulated from that. Like, not a lot of my subscribers are like off the schooling age, but there is some number of them, right? Like there is, like I don't know what percent it would be, but there's a significant decrease that happens just as like the trends go against Minecraft and they head towards other things like whatever else is happening here. And it's a weird, wacky world. People have less time to watch YouTube. The views go down, the money goes down, and you're like, man, this won't recover until you do something brand new. It's a scary, wacky, interesting world, but I hope that you join me as the world goes forwards in this way. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. I think we went off on a bit of a rant at the end there, but I hope that that was fun for you. Also, you know, I mentioned at the beginning, like, oh yeah, when you curate questions, in a way, you're kind of picking the things you want to talk about. Let's try and do something that I tried a very long time ago, but let's actually try it all the way this time. I will answer every single question that is in response to this video, if and only if. Actually, you know, I'm gonna do it via a YouTube post, I think. So, actually, no, wait. I'm gonna change my mind one more time. Let's do it via Twitter. I'm gonna have a Twitter thing out there. I'm gonna respond to every single question that people ask in response to a tweet. I'm gonna do it in the next few days at some point, and yeah, I'll do it like a 24-hour like grace period to do it. I will answer every single question. If you want to see it, follow me at IBXToycat, and that'll be a lot of fun. And this is only for people who have watched this video all the way through. So for those who haven't watched it all the way through, again, on Twitter, if you want to see the Q&A, it's over there. Oh, for everyone else, though, who's just skipping to the end because maybe they assume that's how they can ask questions for the future, wow, water tastes really good. Have you ever tried it? It's got this crisp, refreshing taste. Man, I'm so glad I like the taste of water. Like, my life is, like, 10% easier because I enjoy water versus not being able to. Like, again, you know, you want to fill your belly up so you're not feeling, you know, like hungry for stuff. Drink some water. Wow, you're underhydrated because you're recording a 22-minute YouTube video in your closet. Drink some water. Water is great. And you know what else is great? Subscribing, or at least considering to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Wow, it allows you to see more of these videos, and it suspends the death of myself on YouTube by just another little day. If you enjoy these videos, you see them just in your recommended, I'm just going to say subscribe, and then more of them will come to you. This is a call to action, they call it in the business, and I hope that it encourages you to subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, do not unsubscribe, resubscribe. It'll be fun. Okay, thank you for watching. Goodbye.